What's cooking, Juventus fans? Welcome back to your old lady's favorite YouTube channel. Today, we're celebrating a victory over Sampdoria, a big-time match for Juventus. When I say big-time, obviously the opponent was lackluster, if we will, but at the same time, we've seen Juventus slip up against lesser opponents. Today, Juventus held strong with I'm going to call it a skeleton crew is what we're working with today. For a majority of the match, just because players need to be rested, players are injured, Juve still wins 3-1. On the road, bringing home 3 more points in the chase for the Scudetto. That's right, I said the chase for the Scudetto. I know what you guys are thinking. Do not roll your eyes. Stick with us. We'll fill you in. Ciao ragazzi, welcome back to the Bianconeri Zone. My name is Justin Sofro. Today, it's March 12th. It's a Saturday, 2022. And of course, I've got your latest player ratings for all the players that played in the match against Sampdoria for Juventus today. Before we get anything, though, make sure you hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, and hit that bell icon to stay notified for all of our latest videos. And I know I said it. I know it's a hot button topic. I know you guys are going to, shun me, if you will. But at the same point, you're saying there's a chance. And I'm not acting like it's a likelihood, but it's a possibility at this point. I've seen the way the season has gone, and I've seen the openings, and really what I'm saying is that I believe in this Juventus team. Yay and nay. I'm starting to have some positive feelings from the way that this team has performed. Yes, was it beautiful football? No, it was not. Was it dominating? Well, actually, during the parts of this match, they felt pretty content and pretty comfortable for the most part. Did they dominate? No, not exactly either. But it's just something about what Allegri's doing with this team that they're able to really hang tough in those games and pull out a victory in unlikely scenarios. If we're looking at it, the makeup of the squad today is eerily similar to the squad that we had starting the season, thanks to the departure of Cristiano Ronaldo. And back then, you got a very, very different result than you have right now. So I give credit. I give lots of credit to what Allegri did today. We'll talk about his rating because I've been really harsh on him lately. But I was positive and excited about what I saw today because it gives us a chance to dream. Again, let's be reserved. Let's be realistic. But it gives us a chance to dream. Things could fall apart for other teams. Am I really looking at Juve thinking Juve is going to knock it out of the park here at the end? Maybe not. But what I'm saying is bad things can happen to other people. That's really what I'm saying. The other teams, bad things can happen to them. Okay, that's enough of that. Enough of that talk. I know you guys are going to ridicule me in the comment section. But at the same time, it'll be interesting to potentially talk about this down the line as the channel continues and as the season nears the end of its streak. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into these ratings and talk about the performances of the player that played in today's match. First off, we got Wojciech Szczesny. And this is one where Wojciech Szczesny, I went back and forth of potentially talking about Wojciech Szczesny as your player of the match. I was really high on a lot of his performance and the things that he did today. I thought he was really good and really pivotal moments there, especially in a lot of moments where Juve struggled to really have possession a lot of the time. And whenever Sampdoria were to be able to make attacks on them, he was able to find stops in important moments. But overall, it is Sampdoria, so let's be honest. He gets a 7 rating for his performance today. He played the full 90 minutes. He had 4 saves, 1 high claim, 3 saves from inside the box. He saved a penalty, and that's a huge part of what he did today, was saving that penalty and stopped what would have made a very nervous game even more nervous, if we're being honest. He had 6 accurate long balls, 1 aerial duel, and that's what he did for today's performance. There was a moment, obviously, where that goal was scored off the free kick. It was ricocheted off of Alvaro Morata's back, and the way the kick was taken, it was taken to Szczesny's left, the whatever the guy's name was, I apologize, I forget off the top of my head, to his right? So Tech was going for the ball. There was no chance for him to go and recover and get back to save that goal because of the way it hit Morata and then ricocheted back. It was just a luck of events for the free kick taker, and then also unfortunate events for Morata and Szczesny as well. So I really don't blame Szczesny at all for that. Let's continue on, though, and here's the next section, and I know these videos get to be really long, right? They're very long videos, so I'm going to try to shorten it a little bit today. I'm probably going to fail at it, but I'm going to try it today. So today, let's just do the whole defense together, because let's be honest, games like today they're good barometers for the defense. When I say that is, I don't have a lot to say about the defense. That means because they did their job. A lot of the times, that's what you want out of the defense. Outside of making a miraculous save or a miraculous clearance or something like that, or a stop. When it's just a I guess it's just put this is American football term. I'll put your hand in the dirt kind of game. That's obviously it's different with this, but that's how I view it. It's just like kind of a drag out game. Nothing really crazy going on, but they did their job. So this is what I'm going to kind of do. Let's just go through these guys. I give everybody basically a 6. Matthias De Ligt gets a 6.5. So we got Danilo with a 6. If you want, I can go through their stats real quick. Danilo had, he had 1 block shot, 2 interceptions, 1 aerial duel, 1. And that's what he did for his performance. He gets a 6 rating today. Matthias De Ligt gets the best one, 6.5, just because I saw him really stepping up in some big moments and just being a leader, which, of course, that's what you expect out of Matthias De Ligt, potentially a future captain for the squad. He gets a 6.5 rating. He had 8 clearances, 1 block shot, 1 interception, 1 tackle, 1 ground duel, 1, 2 aerial duels, 1. And yeah, that's what he did for today. Let's continue it on. Excuse me. A little bit of cough coming up there. 6 from Rugani, who I definitely do want to give credit because Rugani has looked very serviceable this season. A lot of credit. He had 11 clearances today. Maybe I could give him a 6.5, honestly, given his performance. I didn't realize he had that many clearances. Good job on Daniele Rugani. 11 clearances, 1 interception, 1 tackle, 1 ground duel, 1, 3 aerial duels, 1. 3 accurate long balls as well. So good on Daniele Rugani. Our center backs really stepped up today. And then Luca Pellegrini, who played 85 minutes before being pulled for, I believe, was that Alexander who came in there? If I'm correct, I think so. No. That was Mattia De Chilio. Duh. I forgot about that. All right. Anyway, he gets a 6 rating as well today. There were a couple moments that he did a couple questionable things, but overall he was solid as well. 1 tackle, 2 ground duels, 1. 2 accurate long balls and 1 successful dribble as well. So definitely, I'd probably bump Rugani up just because I did not realize he was that active in creating clearances. Okay, that was pretty quick. We got through the defense. There we go. Now let's move it on to the midfield. In the midfield, we're going to talk about their performances. Juan Cuadrado, again, was hoping to kind of want him to do a little bit more today than I saw from him, but he was serviceable as well. He gets a 6 rating for his performance. He had, 2 accurate long balls. He had 2 shots off target. He had 1 ground duel, 1 block shot, 1 interception as well. Unfortunately, again, didn't see him doing a lot creating that I would like to see from Juan Cuadrado, which of course is delivering crosses in the box, etc., etc. But 2 guys that I can really harp on and say that they played really well were Manuel Locatelli and Artur there in the center of the midfield. Locatelli gets a 6.5 rating today for his performance from me. He had 1 assist, obviously creating that goal for Artur. He had 3 key passes, 1 accurate cross, 4 accurate long balls, 1 big chance created, 1 successful dribble attempt, 3 ground duels, 1 aerial duel, 1, 2 clearances, and 2 tackles. One thing that you can really take away from this match really is just that Manuel Locatelli really, he works well, especially when Artur's performing at a high level, and I think Artur was performing at a high level today. When they're clicking together, they do really well. And just in general, when you're not forcing Locatelli to play as a regista, he's able to do so much more creatively for the club. And I just want to see more of this, and hopefully we can find ways to utilize this, and hopefully Allegri won't keep hindering him long term, if we're being honest. So 6.5 rating for his performance. Then Artur, I want to give Artur a lot of credit. I really liked what I saw from Artur today. He basically what I was high on, 90 minutes, 6.5 rating. What I was really high on is I never have seen Artur moving the ball like he did today. He was literally going in and out of guys. He was working them. He felt comfortable. He would just slide through lanes, and I was shocked to see him move so like a gazelle. That's the only way I could say it. My guy was a gazelle out there. He was getting through guys, making good passes. Really liked what I saw from him. I would like to see more of that. It wasn't the same Artur that I'm used to seeing, which I usually just describe as sluggish, slow. He's a slow white guy for the most part. That's the way I kind of look at him. He's just kind of a really, I don't know, just much slower than the rest of the other players that are out there on the pitch. Today, he had 9 accurate long balls. He had 2 successful dribble attempts, 4 ground duels, 1. He had 1 block shot and 1 tackle as well on the performance. So really good, a lot of credit to our midfielders, Manuel Locatelli, Artur. And, there were a lot of guys who I thought, even if it wasn't exemplary, performance, it was still solid. Our defense, solid. Chesney doing his job really good. And then there's this guy. And then Adrian Rabiot's out there. I mean, I don't know what else I can really say about Adrian Rabiot at this point in his career at Juventus. He doesn't have it. It's just not working. It's not a good fit. It doesn't seem to make sense. And I understand Allegri right now is utilizing him and using him because we don't really have any other options, right? He doesn't have any other options. But at the same time, like, he was still using Rabiot much more than I ever would have expected him to use a player of his lack of caliber over a lot of other solid performers that we have on the club. So I don't really understand that. He gets a 5 rating today from his performance. Really disappointed in really what I saw from Rabiot. He had a couple opportunities there maybe to try to get his one miraculous goal he gets per season. It didn't happen. He had 1 key pass. He had 2 successful dribble attempts, 3 ground duels, 1 clearance, 1 block shot, 1 tackle, and a penalty that he committed as well. But let's move on. I'm done with talking about Rabiot today, and let's talk about Moise Kean, his performance. And Moise Kean finally looked like a good attacker for Juventus. He was actually doing some smart things, doing some good things for the club, things that I really kind of expected from Moise Kean from the beginning of the season, when I was excited to hear that Juventus was bringing him back to the club. And unfortunately, he hasn't lived up to that. Until today, he was really pretty solid. I wouldn't say he was great, but he was solid. He played 65 minutes before being pulled for Vlahovic. Was an odd course of events. We'll get into that. I don't really understand that, but I gave him a 6.5 rating for his performance today. Overall, here's what he did. He had 1 shot on target, 4 successful dribble attempts, 1 penalty, 1 big chance missed, 5 ground duels, 1 offsides as well. And there we go. But really, the things to really harp on today that I was really excited that what I liked that I saw from him today was obviously drawing that penalty, but just like toughing it out. Instead of just losing possession immediately, he had 2 guys immediately, and then I think a 3rd guy that was coming up on him while he was driving into the box. And instead of just letting it go and letting them take possession and just, flopping it down what I'm used to seeing from him and similar players on Juventus' team, he actually he really powered through to maintain possession and then draw the penalty. It's something that we haven't seen Juve do really. I don't say 1.5, 2 years almost. Really, you think about the 2019-2020 season, and not that I don't want to give him credit, but obviously credit to Cristiano Ronaldo, who was really good at doing that down the stretch in games. When it seemed like it was going to be a deadlock and nothing was going to happen, he would draw a penalty in the box. And Juve are so scared to go in the penalty box at this point. In that final third, they always slam on the brakes as soon as they get there. They can be fine driving for 2/3 of the field, and then that final third, they stop. It's like an invisible wall, and they don't know what to do. So hopefully we can see more of this. Hopefully we can see more players take a note from what Moise Kean did today and try to do the same to draw more penalties down the line. It really makes a big difference in your Scudetto hopes. I know. I'm not supposed to talk about the Scudetto. It's out of the possibility, but I'm talking about it. All right. Alvaro Morata, and he, to me, is your player of the match. Okay, obviously the least valuable player of the match was Adrian Rabiot. Today, it went back and forth a couple times. It went from... I almost would even put Moise Kean in the conversation, but it really went from Wojciech Szczesny to Alvaro Morata. Morata really sealed it, though, with that second goal. Obviously, he scored the penalty. And you give him credit for the penalty, but at the same time, a penalty is a penalty. It's different when you're actually scoring from the open field. And that header that he had was magnificent, especially in a really, I don't want to say a dire moment, but a potentially really nerve-wracking, nail-biting final minutes of the match. I know, especially if Wojciech Szczesny didn't save that penalty early on, it would have been a tie game. It would have been a draw, and we would have been, looking much differently on this match than we did, at the end of it. So anyway, Alvaro Morata scores a brace today. He gets a 7.5 rating from me today in his performance. He had 2 goals, 2 shots on target, 1 shot blocked, 3 successful dribble attempts, 1 key pass, 1 accurate long ball, 8 ground duels, 1 clearance, and 2 tackles as well in the day. Something important that I noticed from the post-match press conference when he was speaking with with the media, he basically was commenting and basically just came out there and said his desire to stay with the club and stay at Juventus. Really was kind of open about that. Like, if it could make it happen, if it could be a possibility, he would love to stay and play more years as Juventus, and he even said, even if he is sold, he'll always be a Juventus fan. So that's kind of one of those things. To me, Morata more and more endears himself as a player with the club. And he can be a little mentally soft, but when he does play well, he's really good, especially when you have him alongside, a player like Dusan Vlahovic. He's a really good second striker there. So anyway, credit to him. Hell of a game. Alvaro Morata deserves all the accolades today. All right, and now let's talk about the one of the substitutes. The other substitute we had there was, of course, Alexandro and them, but I think they didn't play enough time for really to talk about them, and I don't have enough positive things to say, especially watching Alexandro give up possession after possession in the short amount of time he played today. Dusan Vlahovic comes in as a substitute. I believe that was for Luke. Oh, wait, no. That was for Moise Kean there. Yeah, sorry. At the 65-minute mark, he played 25 minutes. I didn't understand this move. And I gave him a 5.5 rating because there was just not much he could do, right? He was fine. I mean, he didn't do much in 25 minutes, so you get a 5.5 rating. You can't really move. You start at a 5, you can move up or move down, but nothing was really happening. I mean, if we want to go into statistics, just to look at him, let me even say that he had any statistics. He had 9 touches, 1 accurate long ball, and that was basically it, right? Yeah. So not a lot to go on statistically, but one of the things that I just didn't understand, you go into this game, and at first I was on one side where I was saying, don't, like, you had so many other opportunities down the line to have rested Dusan Vlahovic. An away match in a hostile environment, and I understand Sampdoria is not the greatest team, but it's still a team that we've seen Juve drop points to lesser squads, right? At this point, I didn't understand risking dropping more points by not using Dusan Vlahovic. Well, I will admit, I was obviously incorrect in that moment. Allegri knew what he was doing. He put together a good game plan. He really utilized his team well. And they definitely were able to, get the 3 points. I didn't understand, though, is if you're going to go ahead and make the move to rest Dusan Vlahovic, to make sure he's rested up for the Villarreal match, for whatever match you have going ahead, why bring him in at the 65-minute mark? Why risk any sort of injury, especially in the squad right now, who is plagued by injuries? This is why you're playing with a skeleton crew right now. That's why you don't have Bonucci, Chiellini, you don't have Chiesa, you don't have McKennie, you don't have Dybala. Name after name after name, top-tier talent after top-tier talent. Well, talent. Anyway, you're missing all these guys, and then you're going to bring in and risk Dusan Vlahovic getting injured. I don't understand that motive behind this. I don't know if he felt that Sampdoria could make a run there, and he felt like Dusan Vlahovic is the way. Maybe Moise Kean was wearing out. He was playing actually pretty well. Maybe he used all of his energy. Or maybe Dusan Vlahovic came up to him and said, if I can get a goal, I want to get a goal today. I want to add on to my tally for Capo Canonieri. Maybe that's what he wanted to do. I don't know, but I think it was an ill-advised move. If it were me, I would have just kept him on the bench for the entire match, not risk him. You don't want to see an injury happen, especially to a player of him that you cannot afford to lose if you're Juve right now. And it all's well that ends well, but at the same time, that's just my thoughts. I just didn't understand it. So anyway, moving on from that, though, we have then finally Max Allegri to talk about his performance today. And I've been really harsh on Max Allegri here lately. I've been really harsh, regularly giving him like 3, 3.5, 4 ratings because I've not seen nothing develop. But I'm starting to come around and say, there's something to having a 15-game undefeated streak. Yeah, it's not all wins. Yeah, there's a lot of drop points. Yeah, there's, not perfection. It's kind of football sometimes. It's not beautiful. It's ugly. But at the same time, you're getting points. You're clawing your way up the table. And Juve going into this match, you were able to rest Dusan Vlahovic for most of the game. You're able to play without your best players. You're playing with a B-tier squad. If B-tier, C-tier maybe even right now, besides, Matthias de Ligt and players like that. And you're able to pull out a comfortable 3-1 win on the road. That's a good game plan to me. It's a well-orchestrated plan. It's not beautiful, but it gets the job done. And if there's one person that can relate to being not beautiful but getting the job done, it's this guy. So there we go. I was more than happy to see victory come out of here. And then hopefully Max Allegri has a better, more formidable plan, especially going into Villarreal, to make sure they continue in the UCL. We'll see what happens there, but we'll be covering it each step of the way, when they'll be playing here on, I believe it'll be on Wednesday of this week. Anyway, guys, that'll do it for the ratings today. Let me know your thoughts. Do you agree or disagree with any of the ratings that I gave the players, the coaches, any of that? Let me know your thoughts on how they performed as well today. If you haven't already, please go ahead and like that button, or hit the like button for the channel. Hit the subscribe button as well to join and become a member of our community. Also consider joining the member squad. There's a lot of cool stuff you get with it. You get to be a part of this, and you actually get to hop on some of our videos and our lives with us. It's a lot of fun. For reference, look at Malik, Davide, and guys like that are on here. It's really cool to have you guys be a part of our community and what we're doing here. Also, if you haven't already, consider following us on Twitter and Instagram at bianconerizone. Follow me at Justin Sofro on Twitter as well. We'll see you guys next time. Forza Juve, Forza Bianconeri.